Today we're going to look at multiplying decimals using both a model and a diagram. So we'll look at the model first. This is similar to what we did with subtraction and adding. We're going to label the ones and the tenths. And you can see here I have 3 copies of 2 tenths. So there's my 2 tenths, and I want to make 3 copies of that. So there's 1 copy, 2 copy, 3 copies. And if I add that up, I have 6 tenths. So I have 3 times 2 tenths equals 6 tenths. That's what it would look like on a place value chart. We'll look at another one. So in this one we have our ones, we have our tenths. And here they're showing 4 copies of 3 tenths. So I have my 3 tenths, and I want to have 4 copies of that. So that's my 2nd copy, 3rd copy, 4th copy. Now if I count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's a problem there because I have 10, and I know when 10 happens, I want to regroup. So what I want to do is I want to take my 10 and I would move that over into the ones place, because I know that when I have 10 tenths, that's the same thing as 1 whole. So now my answer becomes 1 whole and 2 tenths. That's what it looks like on the place value chart. We're going to look at a different model next. So this has to do with partial products. Let's look at it on the place value chart first. So for here, let me get my black pen. So for here, the first thing I want to do is draw out my place value chart. I have ones, tenths, hundredths, and thousands. If I add it in here, I have 4, this is pretty hard to see, 4 tenths, I have 2 hundredths, I have 3 thousandths, and I want to have 2 copies of that. So I have another copy of that, again, 4 tenths, 2 hundredths, and 3 thousandths. If I go down and add them up, I would start in the thousands column. I have 6 thousandths. I have 4 hundredths. And over here, I would have 8 tenths. So my answer would be 846 thousandths. Now we're going to look at partial products. So what they're saying is you're multiplying each section of that by 2. So each section I have 4 tenths, and that number, I have 2 hundredths, sorry for the messy handwriting, I'm writing with a mouse, and then I have 3 thousandths. So if I want to multiply each of those sections by 2, 2 times 4 tenths is going to give you 8 tenths. 2 times 2 hundredths is going to give you 4 hundredths. 2 times 3 thousandths gives you 6 thousandths. And when I go through and I add all of those together, I end up with 846 thousandths. It's just another way of showing the process. So let's look at one more over here. I have 4 copies of the same number, which was 423 thousandths. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bigger. So there's my ones, my tenths. As we move through, it's going to be an important skill for the kids to know how to draw a place value chart, simply because they're asking them to do it in so many different lessons. So I usually tell them to just do the fractions up above rather than write out all the words, because that can get cumbersome. So again, I have 4/10, I have 2/100, and I have 3/1000. And I want to make this time 4 copies of that. So I'm going to do that 4 times. There's my second copy. I'll have to extend these out. My third copy. And my fourth copy. And you'll see now is, let me make that look like 2 dots. Good. Okay, now is where we'll see that we'll have some regrouping will be necessary. So again, when I get to 10, that'll be my magic number, so to speak, and I'll go into the next place. So here I have 3, 6, 9. I don't need to do any regrouping there. Let's count here. We have 2, 4. Oh, I do need to do regrouping here. I don't think I was looking all the way down. So I have 3, 6, 9, and 12. So here I want to take 10 and move it into the next column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to grab those 10. I know that 10 thousandths is the same thing as 100. So I'll move that over there. So now when I go to this column, I'm going to count up. I have 3 plus 2 more is 5, 7, 9. I'm not at 10, so I don't need to regroup. Look at this column. I have 4, 8, 12. I'm already over 10. So I'm going to go through and count out 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to grab those 10. And 10 tenths is the same thing as 1 whole. And if you look, we'll make sure there aren't 10 of them left over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 left over. So I'm okay. I don't need to include any more. So let me see if I can extend this page. There we go. So I have 1 whole. And again, if I look at what I have left over, there's 6. Here we had 2, 4, 6, 8, plus the 1 left over was 9 in the hundredth spot. And I had 2 thousandths left over. So there was some regrouping going on there, and you can see that happening. So over here, I want to do the same thing, but I'm using the partial products. So I had 4 tenths, 2 hundredths, 3 thousandths, okay, so 4 tenths. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 tenths actually looks like that. You end up in the tenths place. 2 times 4 times 2, 4 copies of 2 hundredths would be 8 hundredths. 8 hundredths looks like that. Okay, 4 times 3 would give you 12 thousandths. You have 12. You want to end up in the thousandths place. So 12 thousandths would look like that. Now I can take these numbers and I can add them up. Like that.
Zero.
Okay, let me grab my eraser. I made a little mistake there. I have my 12 thousandths. And I always tell the kids, you want, when you're writing like 8 hundredths, you want to make sure it says 8, but you want to make sure that that last digit ends up in the hundredth spot if you're saying hundredths. For this one, I knew I had to have 12, and that 12 had to end up in the thousandth spot, so that's why I have those zeros in there to hold my place. So 2, 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 2 zeros is 6. I want to make sure I write my decimal down and then bring the 1 down. Those are two alternate ways of multiplying that they're going to be asking them to do on the homework to understand more the concept of multiplication and what's happening.